Hi, Ray Colligan here from NightWing Enterprises. I'd like to give you a quick tour of the NightWing scheduling system version 3, which works natively in FileMaker Pro 13 or later, and can be run standalone in FileMaker Pro, hosted on FileMaker Server, or accessed on a tablet using FileMaker Go. Like our counterpart booking system, which handles bookings in whole day increments, the scheduling system can be licensed from us, starting from $140 for a single seat deployment. What we have here is the scheduling system demo file, which you can download from our website free of charge to take a look for yourself. I'm going to walk you through the main features. For the purposes of the demo, we've used the concept of scheduling rooms, which is something most people are familiar with. But in fact, the system can cater for the scheduling of many different types of assets: people, rooms, equipment, vehicles, and so on. By visiting the Scripts menu, you can reset the bookable asset descriptor for the system. By default, in the demo, it's set as room, but if I change it, for example to car, you can see that the interface has been updated to say available cars, car capacity, car type, review car data, and so on. Of course, the data in the demo and the asset type value list still relate to rooms, so those would need to be changed as well. You can't change them in the demo, but in a licensed copy, you'll have access to modify those as well. I'll set the descriptor back to room so we can keep going. The screen we're viewing here is the main system screen, and in fact, you can perform most operations of the system without leaving this screen. First of all, at the top left is the scheduling criteria panel. To get started with placing a booking, I need to enter a date and start and stop times to see what's available. As soon as I enter a start date, as you can see, the end date fills in automatically, but it can be edited if necessary. Similarly, when I select a time, the end time fills in and can be edited. I can specify a required room capacity for the booking, say 12, and you'll notice that as soon as I do that and exit the field, the list of available rooms updates to show only rooms that are available for the dates I've entered and have a capacity listed as 12 or greater. I can also filter the list of available rooms by room type, like so, and the list updates accordingly. Once I've located a room I'd like to book for the time span in question, I can click on it to select it, or I can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move through the list of available rooms. Then, with a room selected, I can either click on the Book Selected Room button at the lower right, or simply press the Enter key to indicate who the booking is for and add an optional note about the booking. When I've done that, I can either click the Place New Booking button or press the Enter key again, and the booking is processed. As you can see, as soon as I do that, the Bookings History portal at the bottom of the main screen updates to include the new booking. The portal provides a reverse chronological history of bookings that have been made, so the most recently placed booking appears at the top. Another thing you may have noticed as soon as I processed the booking is that the main theatre, M202, is now no longer appearing in the list of available rooms for the booking times currently set in the criteria panel. That's of course because it's no longer available for those times, having just been booked. Using the Bookings History panel, it's possible to manage existing bookings. For example, I can use the button marked with an X at the far right of the portal to delete a booking, like so. Or I can double-click a row to bring up an editor pane, which shows full details of the booking and allows me to make changes. For example, subject to room availability, I can extend the duration of the booking I've just made. As soon as I click Save, you can see that the booking history has updated to reflect the change. Other details about the booking can also be changed, like so. In the Review Edit Booking pane, I can also assign the booking to a different room, again subject to availability. I can do that either by selecting the type or by clicking on the Change Room button at the top right of the pane. A list of the available alternate rooms, as per the booking criteria currently in place in the editor pane, comes up, and I can choose one, say the Mezzanine Studio, M209, and then click Save to alter the booking. You can now see that the Mezzanine Studio is no longer appearing as available for the selected times, but the main theatre is available again since it's no longer booked for that period. On the main screen, at the bottom of the Booking Criteria panel, there's a button that allows us to set a couple of preferences that are important to note. The first preference, which is on by default in the demo, is Allow Return Time Booking. This setting allows bookings to be scheduled end-to-end without a gap. So for example, if a booking concludes at 10:15 a.m, another booking can be scheduled to start from 10:15 a.m. If this preference is not enabled, the system will require a gap of at least 15 minutes between the end of one booking and the start of the next. The second preference setting controls whether the system will automatically reset the booking criteria once a booking is placed. Resetting clears the date and time values and returns the capacity and type filters to their defaults. You can reset at any time by clicking on the Reset button at the lower right of the booking panel. However, with the preference enabled, the panel will be reset automatically every time you place a booking. The additional preference settings here allow you to determine the range of times that will appear on the time menus for selection, so you can set a commencing and concluding time that matches your work schedule or the period that's of interest to you, making it easier to find the times you're looking for in the drop-down time lists. And you can also set the start time for the chart view, which we'll look at shortly. From the main screen, you can also visit the Asset Register via the button currently labelled Review Room Data at the lower left of the Booking Criteria panel. That takes you to a list of all the assets available to be booked. In the demo of the system, the data in this screen can't be edited, but once you've licensed the system, you'll have access to add, delete and edit asset records, and also to make changes to the asset type value list. Back on the main screen, there's another button that we haven't looked at yet that's labelled View Interactive Usage Gantt Chart. Clicking on this button takes you to a chart overview of the bookings across a 16-hour period on any given day. Notice that you can filter the Gantt chart's view by bookable asset type to view a subset of the available data. Above the chart and to the right are controls that allow you to set which day and time span will be displayed. You can choose the day to be displayed from a drop-down calendar or use the adjacent arrow keys to scroll forward or backward by one day. In FileMaker Pro, if you hold the Shift key down while clicking on one of the arrows, the chart date will move forward or backward in increments of 7 days. Similarly, you can choose the hour on which the 16-hour view of the chart should start. And arrow keys are provided to scroll the time window left or right in increments of an hour, like so. Meanwhile, in FileMaker Pro and WebDirect, the chart has tooltips, both on the bookings, where you can roll over to view summary details of each booking, and on the asset numbers listed at the left of the chart. In FileMaker Pro, the chart is entirely interactive. If I drag a booking to a new position within its row, it moves to the point where I release the mouse button, and the underlying booking data is updated accordingly. So rescheduling a booking is as easy as dragging it to any vacant position on the chart. If I hold the Shift key down and drag the end of a booking to a later time, instead of moving the booking, it stays in place and is extended to a later end time. Similarly, I can hold Shift and drag a booking start time to an earlier time to extend the booking in that direction. And by holding Shift and dragging the start or end time in the other direction, I can reduce the span of the booking. If I drag a booking to a different row, the booking is reassigned to a different room. Again, the underlying booking data is updated automatically to reflect this change. If I drag a booking diagonally, I can simultaneously reassign a booking to a different room and to a different time period, like so. But if I hold the Shift key down while dragging diagonally, the time period is constrained, so the booking is reassigned to a different room without altering the start and end times. The ability to alter booking times and locations by dragging them in the chart is available in FileMaker Pro, but not in FileMaker Go or FileMaker WebDirect, where drag and drop is not supported. However, in all three environments, you can expose an editor pane directly from the chart by double-clicking on a booking in FileMaker Pro, or with a single click or tap in FileMaker WebDirect or FileMaker Go. As when the editor pane is invoked on the main system layout, all the details of the selected booking are exposed, so the booking can be edited in place on the chart. For example, subject to availability, I can extend the end time of a booking. In this case, when I click Save, an error dialog appears to alert me that the change I've made would produce a clash. Alternatively, I can reassign the booking to a different room in place on the chart by selecting a different type value or by clicking on the Change Room button. As you can see, the booking has now moved to room G104. Once I'm done on the chart, I can return to the main system screen by clicking on the button below the chart labelled View Scheduling System Screen. When you purchase a license for the system, as well as providing you with edit access to the asset data and asset type value list, entering your license key will allow you to create accounts for one or more users according to the number of seats you've licensed. I hope I've been able to give you a feel for how the system works and what it can do. Like our counterpart day-based booking system, it's designed to be intuitive to use, allowing you to place and manage bookings using just a couple of screens. Feel free to download a copy of the demo and play around with it yourself.